can't stop. I got motion. I'm moving. I'm going. Can't lose focus. I got motion. I'm moving. I'm going.
Red Corner Boxing. We're in the game.
Good evening, Auf Wiedersehen, and all the rest of that nonsense. It's Mr. Neutral. It's League Prediction X time. But before we get started, this program is sponsored by Easy Storage and Boxing Fight Zone. Check all the links in the bio, and we give thanks to them. Yes, X League Fight Week 3 is here. This is the scores from last week. And if I can just get my scores up, should I have this ready? Here we go. Was still leads with 113 points, winning last week as well. So he's on a grand total of 265, but he only holds a 7-point gap to Spit Bucket with 110 points last week, maintaining second place. Jabbit Boxing, keeping up with the boys, 256, 3 points behind Spit Bucket. Breaking Bad Boxing, 107, 229, and it all gets condensed with Max Calandrillo, Graham Walker, Sweet Pugilism, all separated by just 4 points. And Lee Mack brings up the rear with 218. Let's go on to Fight Week 3 then. We're going to start off with this fight here, and it's Artur Subkankalov versus Virgil Vitor, a lightweight affair over 10 rounds. Southpaw versus Orthodox, 10-0. Subkankalov is a 34-year-old Russian, and Vitor, the Filipinian 28-year-old, and this is for the IBF Asia vacant lightweight title. Just before we get into that, I want to say hello to LFC. You'll never walk alone. Thanks for joining us, pal. Always good to see you. Right, first prediction is Was. There he is there. He says unanimous decision for Subkankalov. Spit Bucket Podcast in second place says split decision Subkankalov. Jabby Boxing, our Welsh compadre. Unanimous decision Subkankalov. Breaking Bad, we're still waiting to get his prediction in, hopefully in the morning. We go to fifth place and Max Calandrillo, who says unanimous decision for Subkankalov. And then our first diverse prediction, Graham Walker says majority decision for Virgil Vitor. Sweet Pugilism has gone for a knockout, round 8 for Subkankalov. And Lee Mack says a knockout, round 5, Subkankalov 2. Moving on to the second fight. And this is Ismat Guliev versus Adam Lazaro. This is a welterweight affair over 10 rounds. 17-1-0. Guliev from Azerbaijan, he's 34, against the Tanzanian Lazaro, 30-year-old Southpaw, 25-5-0. But he's won his last good number of fights. So let's go to the first one. And Was says knockout round 6, Guliev. Spit Bucket says knockout round 4, Guliev. Jabbit Boxing says knockout round 6, Guliev, as does Max Calandrillo. Graham Walker says knockout round 5, Lazaro. Sweet Pugilism says knockout round 6 for Guliev. And Lee Mack says split decision for Lazaro. Moving on to the next fight. And we've got Asno Kalasniov versus Gabriel Tapales, a featherweight affair over 10 rounds. 6-1-3, Kalasnov, the Russian. He's an Orthodox. He's 27, up against the 22-year-old Filipinian Tapales, 9-1-0. He's a southpaw. This is for the IBF Asia featherweight vacant title. Now, go straight on to Was, who says Tapales, knockout, round 8. Spit Bucket says unanimous decision for Kalasnov. Jabbit Boxing says knockout round 3 for Tapales. Max Calandrillo says majority decision, Tapales. Graham Walker says knockout round 5 for Tapales. Sweet Pugilism says unanimous decision, Kalasnov. And Lee Mack says knockout round 5 for Tapales. Let's move on to the next fight, and this is Thomas Isomba versus Masood Abdallah. Featherweight affair over 10 rounds for the IBO International vacant featherweight title. 14-10-1 Isomba against 12-1-0 Abdullah. Southpaw versus Orthodox. And the first contender for this says unanimous decision for Abdullah. Spit Bucket says knockout round 5 for a Somba. Jabit Boxing says split decision for Abdullah. Max Calandrillo says unanimous decision for Abdullah. Graham Walker, knockout round 3, Abdullah. Sweet Pugilism, unanimous decision, Abdullah. And Lee Mack, knockout round 7, Abdullah. As we go to the next fight. And this is Ibrahim Bukadim versus Thiago Dylan Gonzalez from Argentina. Bantamweight affair over 8 rounds. And this fight is France versus Argentina. And we go to the first of our predictors. Says Bukadim, split decision. Spit Bucket says split decision, Bukadim. Jabit Boxing says unanimous decision, Bukadim. Max Calandrillo says unanimous decision, Bukadim. Graham Walker says knockout 3 Gonzalez. Sweet Pugilism says unanimous decision, Bukadim. And Lee Mack says unanimous decision, Bukadim too. Right. Now, the next 3 fights have been called off, which is Amy Andrew versus Lomax, Hussein versus Ventura, and Rama versus Igbo Igby. Those 2 cards have been called off, and they are null and void on this card. We move on to the next fight. This is Alexander Frank versus Luis Jose Marin Garcia. It's an 8-rounder. And 25-0-1 Alexander. He's 40. We got 17-11-1 Garcia from Venezuela, who's 39. If we go to he says knockout round 3 for Frank Alexander. Alexander Frank, even, I should say. Spit Bucket says knockout round 4 for Frank. Jabit Boxing says knockout round 5 for Frank. Max Calandrillo says knockout 3 for Frank. We got can't remember his name now. Graham Walker. Excuse me, Graham. Knockout round 6 for Frank. Then we have Sweet Pugilism says knockout round 3 for Frank. And finally, Lee Mack says unanimous decision. Moving on. And it's Labanot Zogshai versus Pejman Sefkani for the EBU European Heavyweight title. 12-rounder, 21-0-1. Zogshai versus 17-1-0 Swedish boxer Sefkani. 32 years and 35 respectively. Good fight this. And I'm expecting a knockout at some point. But says unanimous decision, Zogshai. Spit Bucket says knockout 2, Labanot Zogshai. Jabit Boxing says unanimous decision, Zogshai. Max Calandrillo says knockout round 7, Zogshai. We have Graham Walker says majority decision for Labanot Zogshai. Unanimous decision for Zogshai says Sweet Pugilism. And knockout round 2 for Lee Mack. Now, moving on. We have the old timers. Marco Huck versus Vaclav Petsar, 41 years each. Germany versus Czech Republic, cruiserweight affair over 10 rounds. Marco Huck, 43-5-1 against 26-22-0 Petsar. Right. If we go to he'll be fine with a knockout in round 9 for Huck. Spit Bucket Podcast says knockout in 5, man alive for Huck. Jabit Boxing says knockout round 8 and he'll feel great for Marco Huck. Unanimous decision for Max Calandrillo for Huck. They'll be on the floor in 4, says Graham Walker. Knockout round 4. Another knockout round 8 for Marco Huck, says Sweet Pugilism. And Lee Mack says he'll be man alive for knockout in round 5 for Petsar. Moving on to a fight where someone is called Ali. and it's Ramla Ali versus Mamta Singh, United Kingdom versus India. 36-year-old Ali versus 28-year-old Singh, 10-2-0 versus 8-3-1. Now, let's go to was. Unanimous decision, Ali. It'll be a knockout in 3, says Spit Bucket Podcast for Ali. Jabbit Boxing says unanimous decision, Ali, as does Max Calandrillo. However, Graham Walker says majority decision for Singh. And we have Sweet Pugilism with a unanimous decision, as does Lee Mack, all for Ramla Ali. And we wish her good luck. As we move on to the next fight, and this is Georgi Yunovidov versus Vatan Aratunyan. Heavyweight affair over 12 rounds. Orthodox versus Southpaw. 11-1-0 Yunovidov versus 11-0 Vatan Aratunyan. Good fight. Very good fight. Unanimous decision for Aratunyan, says was. Split decision for Yunovidov, says split bucket. Oof. He'll be hearing the chimes of Big Ben in 10 for Aratunyan, says Jabbit Boxing. Unanimous decision for Max Calandrillo for Yunovidov. Majority decision for Aratunyan, says Graham Walker. Knockout round 10, says Aratunyan for Sweet Pugilism. And a knockout in 8, and he'll feel great for Lee Mack for Aratunyan. Moving on, Stephen Navarro will face Mario Hernandez. All-American affair for a super flyweight affair over 8 rounds. 7-1-0 Navarro against 13-7-1 Hernandez. We go to the league leader. War says unanimous decision for Navarro, as does Spit Bucket Podcast. He'll be on the floor in 4, says Jabbit Boxing for Navarro. Unanimous decision, Navarro, says Max. Knockout in 6, or it's a fix, says Graham Walker. Unanimous decision for Navarro, says Sweet Pugilism. And knockout round 2 for Lee Mack Navarro. Moving on to the final fight. Fight week 13. Fight week 3, season 3, ladies and gentlemen. And it's Angel Munoz versus Jose Marufo. United States versus Mexico. A welterweight affair over 6 rounds. Southpaw versus Orthodox. 7-2-0 Munoz. 15-18-2 Marufo, who's lost 5 out of his last 6. Was says knockout round 6 for Munoz. It'll be all over in 1, says Spit Bucket Podcast for Munoz. Man alive, knockout round 5, says Jabbit Boxing for Munoz. Knockout round 6, says Max for Munoz. Unanimous decision for Graham Walker, Munoz, as does Sweet Pugilism and Lee Mack, all for Munoz. And there you have it. X-League, Fight Week 3, Season 3. The predictors have predicted. We wish them good luck for this weekend and all the content on X and YouTube. Please follow all the guys here on the X-League. They've all got accounts on X. Go and follow them. Absolutely top men, top lads who've joined us to give their predictions here at Red Corner Boxing. And we thank them all. It's so exciting, this prediction league. They get right into it, as does hopefully you at home. And remember, season 4, we're looking for new players. So if you want to join in, drop myself or Jam's Boxing Chat a line on X, and we'll get you included. Prizes galore. And who wants to be number 1 in prediction league? I can tell you quite a few people. So if you want to get involved in League 4, Season 4, next season, drop us a line. Or you can leave a comment in the box below. Right, well, that's it. We wish them all good luck. We'll see them next week. This is Mr. Neutral. This program sponsored by Easy Storage and Boxing Fight Zone. All the links are in the bio. We thank them very much. And if you're new to Red Corner Boxing, please give us a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We truly appreciate it. Help the channel grow. We're doing really well. First year was smashing it, and we just want to keep continue going. Give you guys top quality content as much as we can. Thank you to all you people watching at home on various social media platforms, and especially on YouTube. And we at LFC, You'll Never Walk Alone. Thank you very much for tuning in, as do all of you. And I'll see you all next week for X League 9:30 here on Red Corner Box. Until then, goodbye.
I'm moving. I'm going. I can't stop. I got motion.